Welcome back to an exciting video, and what we're doing today on our whole learn how to play fast, or how to play fast, or how you should play fast, we're doing another right hand picking exercise. So you're probably saying, dude, why are we doing another picking exercise? That is simple, because you simply cannot get enough when it comes to picking exercises. Everything you do helps everything that you do. If you hear some grumbling and crunching and stuff, that is my Great Dane. He decided to eat. Food has been there for probably 2 hours, and he decides to eat right when I turn my camera on, which is usually the case. So he's not going to have a talk about this, but onward. So why are we working on another picking exercise? Well, it's been a little while ago, and I think I may have mentioned this in a previous video I did before this one. I saw this guy pick this passage. And as you know, that is sweep picking. I watched the guy alternate pick that at about that speed, and that absolutely blew my mind. And I know, without a doubt, I will never have the ability to alternate pick that at that speed. Even doing it at half that speed is hard to alternate pick. Well, this guy's right hand is so freaking masterful. It was just mind-boggling to watch this guy play guitar. And he's kind of in a position to where he never ever even has to think about using legato, because he can literally pick every single note at any tempo. It doesn't matter. And of course, when it comes to picking, we're all over the place, as far as our skill. Some people are just at the top of their game. And, some of us, I'm a good picker, but I'm not as good as that guy. And I never will be as good as that guy. And realistically, this guy came out of the womb holding his two favorite things. His Winky in one hand and a Les Paul in the other. The guy's probably been playing since conception. And that's how he got that good. And then you add 35 or 40 years on top of that, and the guy's just a masterful picker. So, right-hand picking is something that I always work on, because like I said, what I lack here, I can make up for here. But the goal is not to lack here. The goal is to not to lack anything. And granted, my right hand's never going to be as good as my left hand. Never. So we constantly work on our exercises, and we constantly work our weak spots. And in this case, the weak spot for most guitar players, believe it or not, the weak spot is the right hand, the picking hand. Because this is a very hard thing to master. When you start coming into alternate picking and string skipping and all that stuff, it becomes a bit daunting, and it takes a tremendous amount of work to actually get this thing locked down. So what we're going to do today, this is actually one of my mostest favorite alternate picking exercises. It's actually not complicated, and it's a repeating pattern, which I love, because it will let you get locked into it to where you can really start to hone it down and start to... Do you hear that? Dude, you sound like a fucking buffalo drinking water out of the river. Come here. Come here. Come here. This is my bonehead Great Dane, who's apparently going to lay right in front of me, which is where he normally is. So anyway, we're going to work on this little exercise, and I love this exercise, and I do this exercise all the time. When I'm just sitting around noodling, this is usually one of the exercises that I do. And it's actually a pretty cool little exercise. So what we've got here is we've actually got the fractal and not the Kemper, because I'm working on tones for the fractal. And I'm just trying to hammer out some clean tones here for like when we do, we do Def Leppard, So, and yes, before I get any flack, I know that it actually goes this way, like this. Then you go to the G. Then when you go to the E, it's actually here. I actually know that, but I play it this way because I got multiple things that I'm doing during that song. So I cheat, and I cheat a lot. So, moving on. This little exercise, you can do this anywhere. Pick a spot, pick a fret, pick a position. It does not matter. And for shits and giggles, we'll just do it right here at the magical ninth fret. So what we're going to do is we are going to start with a downstroke. And this is going to be, we're going to use fingers 1, 2, and 4, or P, I, and A, the pinky. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this from 12 to 9. And we're going to start at the 12th fret with a downstroke. So first, let me play the pattern for you. So that is the descending pattern. All right, it's not complicated. So, okay, so what's the deal? Why are we doing it? Because this is the cool part. A, it's a repeating pattern. You know, you're just moving straight from the 9th to the 12th. You're just moving straight up the neck. And this is why I like this, because it's a very good alternate picking exercise. If we start with a downstroke at the 12th, we're going to go 12, 10, 9. And we're going to go down, up, down. So we got an up back here at the 12th. Then we got a down at the 10th, and then we go back up to the 9th on the E string, we got another upstroke. So we're kind of hitting a bunch of different strokes jumping through the strings here. So again, it is down, up, 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 down, and it repeats all the way through the 6 strings. And of course, I'll put the tabs and stuff up on my Patreon page. And but it's just a great exercise to do. And so, and the trick here, and you got to make sure that you stay cognizant of this. When you start this pattern, you go down, up, down. The next string is always going to start with an upstroke. Then you have a down. And then when you jump back to the beginning string, it is always an upstroke on this pattern. So if you do this down, up, down, and you don't have an upstroke going between the 2 adjacent strings, then you've gotten out of time. So all you really need to be vigilant of is the fact that you've always got an upstroke when you're going to the 2 adjacent strings. As long as you've got the upstroke, then you're in sync. May not be in time, that's where your metronome comes in, but my eye itches. But at least you'll start getting things synced in. And it's just a great little exercise to do. And then going back, when we're descending the board, we're going to stay at the same spot between 12 and 15. So now we're going to be going the other way, but we're actually going to be starting with an upstroke. And what's going to happen here is when we jump back to the adjacent string, it is always going to be a downstroke. So we're having to jump over to catch the downstroke. Another great exercise. And it's just a great exercise because we're jumping over strings, and the way that it's set up is we're always having to make the jump, and that's where most people wrestle when they are alternate picking. If you're economy picking, moving, to the adjacent string, and you're just picking straight down, that's a lot easier than having to jump over the string and then catch the opposite stroke. So moving this way is very easy, but when you're having to move down, jump, and then pull up, that's where things start to get a little more complicated, and that's what most people wrestle with when they alternate pick. And I know there's a lot of stuff on the internet right now about pick slanting. I am not going to get into pick slanting, simply because, does it work? Well, obviously it works. And I am a pick slanter. I play mostly with my pick, a lot of people play with their pick in this position against the strings. I play mostly with my pick in this position, which makes it easier for me to move this way across the fretboard. But I've been playing this way for so long, it absolutely doesn't slow me down moving this way across the fretboard. Now, I have turned my pick and worked on the opposite direction of pick slanting, and I got to tell you, dude, it has completely screwed me up when I first started that. So just because I am a guitar player and I do want to be the most proficient and best guitar player I can be, I do work on downward and upward pick slanting, but I'm not going to cover that. There's a bazillion videos on there, and I know there's a bazillion videos on this, but everybody practices and works out in different ways, and everybody has different tips and different tricks on how they do it or how they got to the point where they're at. So, moving on, when we're starting here and we're coming this way, we are starting with a downstroke. And every time you jump to the adjacent string, your beginning string, it is always an upstroke. When we're descending the fretboard, we're starting with an upstroke. And then when we jump back to the starting string, it is always a downstroke. So we're always having to jump over strings with this pattern, and that is one of the reasons why I like this so much, because that is just a very good workout all the way around. All right, so staying with the same exact exercise, all we're going to do now is we're going to change our starting pick to get a completely different feel for the exercise. So we're still going to be at 9 and 12, but now starting this way, descending, we're going to start this with a downstroke. So now every time we jump back to the beginning string, we hit that with an upstroke all the way down. Then when we're descending back, we're ascending back, and we're going to start this one with an upstroke. Now every time we go back to our beginning string, we're now catching that one with a downstroke. And the whole thing is alternate picked. You never change. Now we're coming back this way. We're going to same exact place from 9 to 12, but we're going to start this with an upstroke. Now this one, for whatever reason, I actually have to fight this one because this one feels very unnatural for me. Starting this with the upstroke and the way the pick moves around the strings. And let me show you what I'm talking about. This one just feels really unnatural for me. If we start with an upstroke and we're going to go up, down, up. So right here, we're having to jump across to catch this downstroke right here. Then we have up, then straight back down to our previous string. And then this repeats the pattern. Up, up, jump, down, up. We got it down to the previous string. Then it repeats the pattern. Up, down, down to the previous string. This one is just very odd for me. That one just feels very weird to me. And a lot of times, if I'm not really paying attention, I will cycle back as if I started that with a downstroke. I will catch myself and I start with this up. And right here, right there, I will cycle straight back to where I'm catching that with an upstroke. So that is one of the spots that I have to work on, is starting that 3-note passage with an upstroke and following that pattern, because it's just a very odd feel for me to start with this upstroke and then have this where we got to jump the string right out of the gate, jump the string there, and then catch that well, that sounded like shit, and then catch that downstroke on that one. To me, that's just a very odd feel. And so that's actually one that I have to work on. Out of the 4 that we just did, that one I work on the hardest, because for some reason I naturally want to revert straight back to where I'm catching the starting strings on upstrokes, because to me that feels very natural. And that's the point of the exercise, is fighting the things that don't feel natural to you. And that one little exercise, those 4 little positions, you're going to get a very good taste of everything. When we start here with a downstroke, you're going to have a very clean shot straight up with the upstroke to the B string. But then when we go down, now we got to jump over and grab that upstroke on the starting string. So that's a very good way to get that kicked off. When we start with an upstroke, now we got to jump over the string to get to the B here at the 12th. Then we have the upstroke and then straight down back to the 9th on the E. And to me, that's the one that has the hardest feel to it. That's the one I struggle with the most, believe it or not. And then coming up on this side, if we start here and then we start with a downstroke, we catch an upstroke coming back to the beginning string. But if we start just with an upstroke, we have to jump over the string and then catch the beginning string with a downstroke. So it's a very, very good little exercise. And it's not complicated, but I guarantee you, if you're beginner to intermediate, one of those four you're going to struggle with. And like I said, I put the tabs up, but one of the four is going to catch you. And as long as I've been playing, for some reason, that one starting here with an upstroke, if I'm not paying very close attention, I always revert that back to where instead of catching from here to here with the downstroke, I end up catching it with an upstroke. So this actually works out really cool for economy picking too. And this is the one that I normally do use for economy picking because it's got a lot of economy little picks in it. And I dig that. And I love economy picking. If we start with a downstroke on the 12th fret and we go down, up, down, down, up, down, down, coming back to the B, which starts the next passage, we're going to start with an upstroke. Up, down, up, going to the G, down, down, going back to the B, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. That one may be a little bit harder to wrap your brain around when you first get started on that one. And that's actually the way that is my preferred way to pick is economy picking. And I've said that a million times. I love economy picking because if I don't have a reason to jump over a string to catch an upstroke, why jump over the string to catch an upstroke if I can do the same thing by pushing straight through? So I love economy picking. And this one is a great exercise for that. Starting with a downstroke. And I economy picked that entire thing. Now we do have a couple of alternate strokes in there because obviously we got down, up, down. And then we catch up, down, down. Then we go up, down, up, up. So, and that's the pattern. Again, I will put this up because it's going to get confusing trying to keep all this stuff in your head. So I will put all the stuff up on my Patreon page. Like I said, I'll put the tablature up for that. And then moving on to the other side of it, when we're starting at the 9th and descending down, now we're going to start with a downstroke. And we're going to go down, up, down, down, up, up, 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 down, up, down, down, up, up. And then finish it out. And so in that one little section right here, and now granted you want to change your fingers up, do it with 1, 3, and 4 and 1, 2, and 4. And hell, just stretch it out there and do it with 1, 2, and 3 also, so you can keep things limber because, I got small ass hands. So it's hard for me to make these big ass stretches. So I'm literally, having to do this shit before shows, try to get as limber as I can and pop knuckles and all that crap. But that is just a fantastic exercise. And for such a simple, small exercise, it incorporates so many techniques that are vital to playing a guitar. So work on those. And like I said, I will put the tablatures up on my Patreon page, and which I am still adjusting, but I'm also in the process of moving, so that kind of sucks. But it is what it is. So work on that, and I promise you, it's going to make you a better picker. Remember, it takes time. Use your metronome. If you miss the beat, you lose the rhythm, and nothing falls into place. And I'm probably going to say that on every damn guitar video I ever make, because no matter how good of a guitar player you are, like I say over and over, if your timing sucks, you suck. And like I said, I know a dude who's an amazing guitarist. This guy is fast, he is clean, he can fucking burn. Can't stay in time to save his damn life. And so he plays by himself. You can't be in a band if you can't keep the damn time. Use the metronome. That is the one thing that will put your ass in time. And because if you can't dance, you have no timing. It's that simple. So stand up, do a little two-step, and if you're all over the damn place, then you suck. Get a metronome, learn how to two-step. Not only will it help your guitar playing, but shit, it also might get your dumb ass a date because you can actually have a little rhythm, because believe it or not, chicks like guys with good rhythm. Topic for another video. So anyway, on that note, practice, practice, practice. Use your metronome. No matter what instrument you play it to the best of your ability, and you gotta work at it. This shit is not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. A lot of people do this, but there are a select few of us that understand it. And that's what we're doing here, is we are understanding how this shit breaks down, because we all want to be rock gods, and I want you to be a rock god. So until the very, very next video, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, put it down in the questions section. Son of a bitch, I did it again. You'd think after all this time I would get that straight. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments section. If you have any comments, put it down in the comments section. Please subscribe to my channel. And until the next time, rock on.